Question 11, what is the solution to that inequality? So it's 4, oops, try that again. 4 times 3x minus 6 plus 16 greater than 32, negative 32 I guess. Do I have that written down correctly? I do. Distribute 12x minus 24 plus 16 is less than negative 32. Combine like terms, negative 24 and 16 is 12x minus 8 less than negative 32. Add 8 to both sides. So 12x is less than negative 24, divide by 12. This is really Algebra 1 stuff right here. X is less than negative 2, and x is less than negative 2. Which choice was that? That was choice A. Sad part on this one is very few people got this one right. A little more than 50%. This is Algebra 1 stuff. This one needed to be a whole lot better. Now, I do think a lot of people messed up. About a fourth of you messed up because you flipped the sign. Okay? You only flip the sign when you divide by a negative number. This is not dividing by a negative number. You're dividing by a positive 12. You would read this as negative 24 divided by positive 12. So you don't divide it by a negative number, don't flip the sign. Leave the sign the same way. So if the 1/4 of you flip the sign, fix that, then 75% of you get that one correct, and that's not too shabby. Question 12. Here's one of the questions I do like. It's a good comparison question. In the graphs below, how is M different from K? How is line M different from line K? And just basically you're comparing the slopes and the intercepts. Now, which slope is steeper? Now, K is definitely steeper than M. K is going much more vertical than M. So the slope of M is less steep. We would say the slope of M is less steep. So it's going to be either C or D. And then does M have a greater x-intercept than line K, or does it have a greater y-intercept than line K? And M has a greater x-intercept than line K. The x-intercept of M, if you count over on the x-axis, looks like about 8. The x-intercept of K is about 4. So the correct answer on that one is choice C. Choice C, and a lot of you got that one right. Question 13. This is something we've done recently. What is the mean of the data below after the outlier is removed? And we have a list of numbers there. But it mentions an outlier. An outlier is a number, a piece of data that just doesn't belong. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things doesn't belong. Channeling my old Sesame Street. So which of those numbers, especially when you're talking about what appears to be some sort of test scores, it doesn't say it's test scores, but that's what I see when I look at this. Which of these numbers does not belong? It's definitely this one. This 23 is much lower than the rest of the scores. It is an outlier. Okay? So now we compute the mean without that number. So you add up the numbers that you have left over. Just do this on the calculator. So the numbers I have left over are 73 plus 85 plus 70 plus 86 plus 90 plus 74 gives you a total of 478. And then we divide by only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. We don't divide by 7 because the 23 got tossed out. So we're only dividing by 6. Come back, calculator. And we get 79.6 repeating. And the correct answer on that one, what's close to it? I wonder if I typed in the wrong number there, because the answer is choice D. It's 79. That should not round to 79 down to 79. Better check that one more time. 73 plus 85 plus 70 plus 86 plus 90 plus 74 divided by, I did say 6, right? 79.6 repeating. That's kind of strange, but go with what's close. Correct answer was choice D. It is 79. It is just 79. Question 14. Done quite well. Over 75% of you got this correct. which of these numbers shows which set is graphed correctly. You know, I would just change those to decimals. I think you guys are very proficient with decimals. So the square root of 9, you got calculators, use them. Square root of 9 equals 3. 3/4 is a decimal, is 0.75. Negative 1/3 is a decimal, is about 0.3 repeating. And then there's just 5. Oh, you don't have to change that for anything. Negative square root of 2 is about negative 1.4. And then the square root of 6 is roughly, I believe that's about 2.2. Remember, my calculator didn't have square roots. 2.2. So you're looking for the number line that has those decimals graphed, and the correct answer was choice B, and a lot of you got that one correct anyway. 15. Which expression is that simplified? (6x to the negative 4 y to the third over 2x to the negative 1 y to the third), and all of that is squared. Multiple ways to do this. Neither way is wrong. One way to do this is, since everything is being taken to the second power, we just distribute that in with everything, every number, every exponent. So that would be 6 squared is 36, not 12. 6 squared is 36. X to the negative 4 to the negative 2 is going to be x to the negative 8. Multiply your exponents. Y to the 6th over 2 squared is 4. X to the negative 2. Y to the third to the 2 is y to the 6th. And let's see, 36 divided by 4, that's going to be 9 on top. Subtract your exponents. Negative 8 minus negative 2. Negative 8 minus negative 2 is going to be x to the negative 6. It means it goes to the bottom of the fraction is x to the positive 6. And these cancel. Y to the 6, y to the 6, those cancel. So you're left with 9 over x to the 6, and that is choice B. So that's one way to do that problem. Didn't do very well on this one. A lot of people put A, they went with 6. And I have a feeling they went with 6 if they did 6 to the second and called that 12, and then 12 divided by 2 is 6. The other way to do this one, instead of distributing first, is work what's in parentheses first. So take your 6 divided by 2 is 3. X to the negative 4 divided by x to the negative 1 is going to be x to the negative third, which means that goes on bottom as x to the positive 3. Those still cancel. So we have that to the second power. And then maybe this is why you got choice A. 3 squared is 9, not 6. And x to the third squared is x to the 6th. You get the same answer either way. I kind of like this way. I think it's a little bit quicker. Before we start squaring everything, you get a lot smaller numbers. That was choice, what was that? Choice B. 16. Which graph represents the function below? That is a parabola. We all know that by now. It is a shifted parabola, but which one describes the shift? First off, it's a parabola, so you can eliminate choices A and B. The one to the fourth power, that's not the correct answer because a fourth power doesn't give that parabolic shape. And part B, that is an absolute value, and in case you run into it, an absolute value equation is actually a V shape. It looks like that with a very sharp point down here. It's one of those things I would have liked to have got to this year. Snow days and various things kind of caused us not to. But if you do run into a V shape, that is an absolute value graph. So it's either choice C or D. But which way is it shifted? Well, that is a horizontal shift. In a horizontal shift, the number that it's shifting has to be grouped in with the X. So this negative 4 represents a shift of 4 units to the right. Remember, that one's the one that seems backwards. It's 4 units to the right. So that's choice D. That's the correct answer on that. Choice C is a upward shift. Well, actually, it's a downward shift. It's a vertical shift. It's actually going down 4 units. So that's the difference between choices C and D. Grouped with the parentheses with the X, that's horizontal shift. not grouped, that's your vertical shift. 17. This is something we just recently started doing. Fair coin is tossed and a 6-sided number cube is rolled. How many different possible outcomes are there? Well, when you toss a coin, there's 2 outcomes. When you toss a 6-sided number cube, not a die, a number cube, 2 times 6, that's all you do is multiply them together. How many possibilities are there? There's 12. 2 possibilities for the coin, 6 for the number cube, 2 times 6 is 12. That is choice C. 18. First 5 terms of this sequence are blah, 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 blah. What's the 8th term of the sequence? By the way, if you've noticed, a lot of these questions did appear on previous tests. Pulled a lot of these questions on previous tests. So a lot of these questions, this is not the first time you've seen them. We've got to figure out what the pattern is. And the pattern is that you are doubling the number you add each time. So between here and here is plus 3. 0 and 6 is a plus 6. 6 to 18 is plus 12. 18 to 42 is a plus 24. So the next term of the sequence would be double 24. That's 48 for 90. However, that's the 6th term of the sequence. Read the question carefully. The question says, what is the 8th term of the sequence? And how many people got fooled on that one? About 1/4 of you got fooled on that one. You went with choice A, you gave me the 6th term. You got to give me the 8th term. So then we're going to add double, not 48, that's 96 for a total of, I'm going to go with a different line here, 186. And then when you double 192, that's what you get 192. And 186 plus 192 is 378. That's your 8th term, and that was choice D. Read the questions carefully. They're going to throw questions like that at you.